Hey everyone, I'm Wendy, the nutty nurse who's renovating her house because she wants to get a farm in Tasmania. And I've discovered something about myself. I've discovered that I've got a really black sense of humour. And that happened when I saw the headlines about half a woman going into space with the Indian space program. And I just started thinking, well, which half is it? Is it the front half or the back half? Is it the top half or the bottom half? And then I saw the terms half humanoid, and then I thought, well, what's the other half? Anyway, hit subscribe because I really want to get my farm, and as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers, which is my New Year's resolution, this channel starts making money for me and I can get my renovations done quicker. But getting back to this half humanoid that India is sending to space, the more I looked into it, the more I found out she was actually really cool. And yes, she's half a humanoid. And yes, India is sending her to space. And yes, there is only half of her. You might have also noticed that I've got a lot of Indian space videos on my channel. Now, this started when I saw a news report that India was going to the moon, and it blew my mind, because in the West we see India portrayed with their markets and sadly their poverty, but we don't see their technology. And I then started to research, and I was captivated by the Chandrayaan-2 mission. So I'll link the video at the end. It is absolutely extraordinary. And so their space program, they've actually got quite a fair bit going on. Now, Chandrayaan-2 sent an orbiter around the moon to capture in high resolution all of the surface of the moon. So they're moon mapping. Now, sadly, they were supposed to have a lander and a rover land on the moon, and within 1 kilometre of actually landing, it failed and it crashed to the moon. And so with that mission, we had all of the highs and all of the lows, and I've been captivated ever since. So India didn't see the Chandrayaan-2 mission as a failure, and in fact, far from it. It was really quite a success. The orbiter is in perfect orbit around the moon, taking the images that it was designed to do. Now, Chandrayaan-3 is planned for November of this year, and that will be sending up another lander and another rover. And the philosophy behind ISRO is that for anything that happens that isn't according to plan, we learn from it and we incorporate it into the next mission. So I'm expecting to see a successful landing in November. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about the Gaganyaan mission, India's first manned mission. India has really high ambitions with their space program. And following on from the Chandrayaan-2 mission, Chandrayaan-3 is expected in November, and the manned mission Gaganyaan is taking its first steps as we speak. Now, the manned mission is designed to carry 3 people with docking and transfer capabilities in an Earth orbit of about 400 kilometres. It's expected to weigh about 3.7 tonnes, and that makes it absolutely perfect for India's largest rocket, the GSLV-3. It was announced earlier in January that 4 candidates have been selected to train at Russia's Cosmodrome for 11 months and then return to India for capsule-specific training. I've seen them referred to as Gaganauts, because they're training at the Gagarin Space Centre, which was named after Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. But I actually prefer the term Vyomanauts, Vyoma meaning space in Sanskrit. And this is where I get to Vyom Mitra, Sanskrit for space friend. And yeah, I've got more jokes running around in my head. I won't say them because you'll just roll your eyes some more. Anyway, Vyom Mitra is a half humanoid, and she's only a half a one because she has no legs. Now, she's designed from the waist up, and she will go with the Vyominauts to circle the globe as part of the week-long Gaganyaan flight.
Hello everyone, I am Vyomitra, the prototype of the half-humanoid, being made for the first unmanned Gaganyaan mission.
And she's deliberately shaped like a human so that she can sit in the launch seats and accurately measure takeoff and landing forces. She can speak and will alert the crew to any changes that might adversely affect them. And she'll also be able to have conversations with them. And I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. She's going to be a sort of companion to the astronauts, to the Vyominauts. And this is where my dark humour just has to stop. Anyway, so she's going to be the first Indian woman in space. Now, this is unless you count Kalpana Chawla, who was of Indian descent, but she was actually a US citizen and trained with NASA. And sadly, she died in 2003 in the Challenger accident. And the only other Indian in space was Rakesh Sharma, who flew aboard one of the Soyuz flights in 1984. Now, ISRO, up until 2017, hasn't been able to gain any funding for any manned missions. And I think this had a lot to do with too many facets of the missions having to be outsourced, and it just made it economically unfeasible to do these missions. However, now there is a fully integrated Satish Dhawan launch facility. There is the launch vehicle, the GSLV Mark III, which is capable of taking a payload of 4 tonnes. And this Gaganyaan mission is 3.7 tonnes, including Vyomitra. So it's more than capable of doing it. And so then all of a sudden there were no more roadblocks into giving approval. And so, according to Dr. Shivan, ISRO's chief, Vyomitra will travel in unmanned missions in December 2020 and July of 2021. She has machine learning capabilities which will allow for critical observation of any of the data and the conditions within the capsule. And she can move forwards and backwards and side to side, and then that just did it to me again. I'm painting this picture in my head where the astronauts have to move her from, say, the launch seat up to the control desk. And because she can have conversation with them, are they going to be, "Excuse me, ma'am, can we just move you over a little bit? She's a robot. Wendy, just stop it." So I think I've told enough jokes, and you've probably rolled your eyes just a little bit too often. But if you're interested in the Indian space program, I've got an entire playlist. I follow all the launches and all the missions, and check out some of those. So please hit subscribe and join the village of wonderful people that are subscribed to my channel. Hit the bell and share the love, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.